Hey y'all, it's Aaron again at the Tres Cuervos workshop in Lamy, New Mexico. I am here to talk about a new piece of equipment that I've got in the shop. It's called the xTool Apparel Printer. It's a direct-to-film printer. And you can take a creation on your computer, image, font, anything you want, and print it to film, and then use the heat press over here to press it to a t-shirt, a banner, a flag, a pennant, a shop rag, any kind of fabric. And love to show you the next project. All right, so I had an idea and I threw it into ChatGPT. My shop is pretty Western themed. It is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So Tres Cuervos is a Southwestern and Southwestern inspired brand. I thought I would like this on a t-shirt. I entered a prompt, it's fairly simple, and it generated a few images, and this is the one that I chose. So I downloaded it, and now I'll take it into xTool Creative Suite. I am going to connect my apparel printer. So I'll go to Wi-Fi, choose the apparel printer. I don't know if you heard that beep, but it beeped. So I switched it over. So I will take that image and open that up. I will scale it to fit on the canvas. And then I'm going to do a few things here to change this up. So first, I'm going to use the cutout feature to get rid of the background. There's an AI cutout which you can use, but I am just, this is very simple, so I'm just going to cut out all of that off-white, yellowish in the background. And maybe that little bit of off-white there. All right, so that is done. I'll hit confirm, and now it is on the workspace. A t-shirt for a large is pretty much best in the fitting inside an 11 by 11 box. So I will just create a little box here, or maybe 11 by 13. So I will create that little box there, and I will then size this down so it fits into that space. I could also crop this and just do an overall size, but I think this works. I might make it a little fatter. All right, that works. And then you can put this anywhere on the space. We'll get rid of that little bounding box. Now, it occurs to me I may be able to save a little paper and put this horizontally. There we go. And, well, actually, before I do that, let me do this. Well, I'll show you what it's going to look like on a t-shirt, because the Creative Space does this interesting mock-up feature. So that's how it'll look on this fellow right here. And you can choose what color the shirt is if you like. Kind of look good on the yellow shirt. I'll have to see what I have. All right, I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to horizontally orient this, and then I will put it right there. And I'll print it. It's as easy as that. Oh, well, look at that. So it says the element's out of the printing area. So what I'll do is I will crop it as tight as I can. As tight as I can. So I learned something. If the overall dimensions, even in blank space, is outside of the printing area, it will not let you go forward. But now that I've cropped it, it's all good to go. So I just hit print, it'll show me the preview, and I'm printing. So while this runs, it's printing in there. What it will do is it will lay down a layer of white, and then it will lay down a layer of color on this transfer, which I'll show you when it's done. And it will run it through this part of the machine, which is a shaker oven. And it puts this material that will create the bond between the image and the fabric that you press on. It's heat activated. And so over the past week, I was the 6th backer. And so I received both of these together in the first batch that shipped out. The packaging was impeccable. It was very easy. This thing weighs 300 pounds. It's got wheels on it, and then a stabilization on the bottom that you unscrew once you got it in place. But unpackaging it was very easy. I did it by myself and rolled it over here, stabilized it, and just started printing. On day 1, I printed about 60 pennants with very New Mexico themes on them. I'll drop an image of them in here. And then I printed about 45 flags. I think all in, I don't remember exactly how many of each I did, but all in I did about 120 direct-to-film transfers, and then heat pressed them onto pennants and flags. And I will show you one example of one that I did on that day. Yeah, Percy's a cat. But this is on a felt flag with some grommets in it. And that'll hang on the wall. So these go to the store, or flags like this go to the store, and they sell for $50, and the pennants sell for $24, I think. Another friend came over last week, and we made a t-shirt. It took about this same amount of time. It took longer to pick the font that he wanted his name in, it's his last name, than it did to do the printing. So the printing is done, and it is running through the oven. It is putting the adhesive on the transfer now, and it will run through an oven to bake it on there. Once that's done, it'll come out the bottom, and I will cut it out, place it on the t-shirt, and run that hat press. So stay tuned. So while we're waiting for this to bake, I'll show you a few other things that I made last week. So these are just tote bags, and I did this in about 5 minutes. I do think it's important, based on some of the other feedback that I've heard, this has worked flawlessly, without a hitch. I anticipate I'll be able to make enough product to pay for this within a matter of weeks. I don't know how long it's going to take to sell that many products, to pay for this because it's in the $6,000 range. But I know that this will pay for itself. I know that it adds a lot of value. For my store, having local terminology, local memes, local flavor is very important. It is high on my sales list. It's some of the most successful things that I do sell are the ones that are personalized to the area, not necessarily to the person. But this could obviously be used to do personal, trip memorabilia for people who are going to a football game or the Super Bowl or the Disneyland or something like that. But these are a couple of things that I made. Quick transfers. I just threw it into ChatGPT, asked for a similar font style, logo style, and I got these done very quickly. What I like about this is it's a lot like the laser. It's a lot like a 3D printer. You can have an idea and bring it to fruition very quickly, and the only thing that's stopping you is your ability to do it and to take the time. So this is baking right now. It says it's on 28%, so I'm anticipating it'll take another 8 to 10 minutes, and then it'll be ready to transfer onto a t-shirt. This is the transfer that came out. You hoot, I'll holler. It'll go on a t-shirt. I picked an off-white one. Make sure when you do this, you cut off that test color. When I went to an xTool preview for the F2 Ultra. So it's a new fiber MOPA laser cutter and engraver that came out. And I was talking to Carrie there, Carrie Young, shout out to Carrie, and told her about my experience with the Apparel Printer, and she had been a tester and said you should make a video and talk about how it's gone. So that's what I'm doing. Incidentally, while I was there are a few things that I did with that MOPA laser. That is a stone. That's what Jacob did for me with it. It is deep and it looks great. He was also kind enough to let me test this out. This is 6061 aluminum, and I will use this to press stamps, and it will allow me to do much more intricate stamping once that comes for my motel keychains and coasters. So I am going to press this using a Heat Press Nation Signature Pro. It is an amazing machine. I did a lot of research on these, and it is, I haven't done too many, maybe just a few over 100 presses, and it's worked like a charm. And it's got this little drawer that comes out, makes it easier. So what I'd like to do here, after I cut off that test portion, is they say to put it down about 4 fingers, but I got big hands, so I might go a little less than that. And I'm going to probably do this in the most unprofessional way, but that looks like it's 8.5 centimeters from that seam, and that looks like it is 7.5 centimeters from that seam. So we'll go that way. So that looks like it is 8 centimeters, and that looks like it is 7. 8 centimeters, or 7.5 centimeters, and 7.5 centimeters. Okay. And I will do this in a very unscientific way. It's about 14.5. That's about 13. So probably come over like that a little bit. So it looks pretty close. I will get better at this over time. But I will now move this to here, which if I was doing this not for the video, which I should probably have done it that way anyway, I would have done that. Like that. Right on the pull out. I've also got this guide that I have not fully figured out how to use yet. It kind of gives me the center line. And that's 5 over. From what looks like it's pretty close to center. And that's a little under 5, yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, looks pretty close. All right, so I've got this set at 315. I'll put that in there. And it will count down 15 seconds. All right, so I got that pressed onto the shirt, and it is a cold peel, which means I have to wait 15 or 20 seconds, 30 seconds before it's ready to peel off. I have waited. I'll pull this out. And to set this, I'm going to take this piece of Teflon and put it back over this transfer. And they say you can do it for 10 seconds. It hasn't seemed to hurt to do it for a little bit longer, so I'm just doing it for the same 17 seconds that I did before. And it will pop open violently. And it's done. This is the t-shirt. Yohut Al Holler. And it's as simple as that. So just wanted to share my experience so far. It's been a great one. It's worked without a hitch. Had no problems with it whatsoever. And when they say that you can do, 50 feet in an hour, they're not kidding. You'd have to stack those jobs up, or those tasks up, which I don't do, but it works at a pace that I'm comfortable with. And the end products have been good. I'm pretty happy about it. So yeah, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. And overall, xTool, you did it again. This is, I don't know, 2, 3, my 6th or 7th piece of xTool equipment, and I am a raving fan and will continue to be so until you prove me otherwise. Thanks, y'all. Next time.